Welcome to the Rockin Rich Lynch on the Radio Show. I'm your host, Rockin Rich Lynch, inviting you to join me as we discover great new music by bands and artists from around the world. With interviews, music news and reviews, great prizes, and a whole lot more. Visit us online today at soundpress.net for great music promotion and publicity. Hi, this is Rockin Rich Lynch, and you're listening to the very best of Rockin Rich Lynch on the radio. We recently moved our operations from the New York, New Jersey market to Nashville, Tennessee, and we are now looking for a production and broadcast partner in the region to take the radio show to new heights. If you're a band, musician, solo act, or represent a musical project in any genre, please visit soundpress.net and our new site, musiccitynashville.net, to learn how we can help get your message to the world. Now, please enjoy this great interview from our archives. The man we're about to speak with today is a legendary recording artist known widely around the globe for his solo career and for fronting such acts as Utopia, The Nazz, and The New Cars. He was in the production chair for one of the best-selling albums in the history of recorded music, Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell, and that is just barely scratching the surface. It's a real thrill for me to welcome to the program right now the incredible TODD RUNDGREN. Hey, Todd, how are you?
Pretty good. How's it going there?
Hey, Todd, it's okay. Todd, I want to start off by telling you that I'm a fan of yours, and my first high school girlfriend broke up with me by handing me a copy of The Hermit of Mink Hollow and saying, "Can we still be friends?"
That sounds bittersweet.
Yeah, well, see, you're part of my life one way or another. It worked out all right because we were still in the friend zone when a couple years later she invited me to my first TODD RUNDGREN concert. She took me to see the a cappella tour at the Beacon Theater, and that was a really captivating night of music, and really I was hooked in right then and there.
Terrific. Well, good for her.
Yeah. I also got to see your throw money routine that night, which is one of your pieces of performance art that might have been somewhat lucrative for you over the years.
Performances are, well, things have changed a lot, as you probably realize, in the music business. Used to be you got tour support, so you knew when you went out you were going to make money. Nowadays, we don't have tour support, so touring becomes actually more critical in a lot of ways. And no less so now. I'm still trying to figure out the best formula for how to tour. I'll be experimenting with another one this time. So, touring is I tell everyone, touring really is the financial basis of an artist's life. And a lot of people in the record business used to think that, you just made money off of records. But touring really is, where you do your best work and where you will, ultimately make the most money.
Right, Todd, I know you've been on the go forever, but it seems like, the last 15 years that I've been watching you, you're continually out there, you're mixing it up, you're changing it up a lot, you're always putting together special presentations of music, and it's really good to see that you're still so active and vital, and every time I see you, it's a great time. Let me talk about the new tour. TODD RUNDGREN's Global is his 25th solo album on the Esoteric Antenna label via Cherry Red Music, and he's embarking on a world tour beginning on April 10th in Park City, Utah, and check the website for more dates and locations as they are announced, Todd. The new album, Global, is just great. We're going to get right into it. But you're currently in the midst, Todd, of your third stint in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band. Where does this experience rank among all your other career accomplishments?
Well, you can never underestimate, the effect that the Beatles had on music in general, and if you're a musician, on your life. As a matter of fact, I've always credited the Beatles as having come up with that formula that made it possible for me and so many other musicians, to make a career out of it. Whereas previous to that, people thought you were crazy if you said, I want to be a pop musician for the rest of my life. They'd all say, go to college first and then see if that works for you. But because of the Beatles, I was able to become a musician and remain one to this day. So, if a Beatle calls, you must answer. And this is the third time I've been out with Ringo, and this is the longest living band that he's had. This is like 3 years already that the band has been together, and if he keeps the band together for another 3 years, we will have outlived the Beatles.
Yeah, you guys, that's a goal you guys got to reach for. What a powerful band you have right now. Greg Raleigh's been on this show, so you get to see the Santana stuff in the current configuration. Randy Bachman is also on this program today with you, and he was in a different incarnation and just had nothing but positive things to say. Said he would have gone out on the road for free. You know, just for the chance.
Well, you would the first time. You might not be able to afford it the second or third time. But at this point, this band has been together, as I say, almost 3 years. We've toured. Right now I'm in Bogota, Colombia, and this is our second trip to Latin America. We've been to Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, the United States several times, of course. There's other parts of the world that we could possibly get to that we haven't been to yet. So we'll just see how it works out with everyone's schedule and with Ringo's mood.
Right, you're going global with Ringo, and you're also going global with your new album. Your new album is called Global Todd. It's your 25th solo album proper. Congratulations on that momentous occasion. We've listened to it. It sounds really good. It's going to appeal to a lot of people. Now, I know we don't have a lot of time today to talk, so I was hoping that maybe we could get a chance to get you to know you just a little bit better by discussing some of the songs on the new album, Global.
No problem.
And you know, this is sort of like a follow-up or a continuation of something you started with your State album, an entrance into the EDM world. Now, I know you're not a trend chaser, Todd, but in this case, you know, EDM seems to be the thing that's happening in the world of music today, and you're sort of immersing yourself into that. Now, is it a matter of going into it because, you know, that's where that's the temptation, that's where the listeners are right now, and it's a good chance to expose your music to a whole new audience?
Well, when you get to be my age, you almost have to adapt to what the audience is listening to. You know, I still have a lot of fans who've been with me for most all of my career, but I'm 67 now, and a lot of them have retired permanently, if you know what I mean.
All right.
And, you know, as we all get older, we tend to, you know, get out less and spend less money on concert tickets and things like that. And if you want to keep your audience vital and, you know, and thriving, you need to be able to be open, you know, to a new sort of class of listeners or a new kind of age group, if you will. And in that sense, I've never been afraid to adapt to new music, and if it happens to be the music that the kids are listening to, well, so be it.
Yeah, it's a smart move, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember that there was, you know, particularly a Todd Rundgren disco album, or I don't think that you really chased the grunge scene. But, you know, nowadays, this is really where it is, and, you know, music being what it is today, you know, it's damn good. And your style, what you're doing, really, really works in it. The album opens with the energetic Everybody. The hand claps are off there. In the song, you cite Miley Cyrus and twerking. Is popular culture always good fodder for pop songs?
Well, it is. It's certainly fodder, but you got to be careful in a certain way because you don't want to peg your record to a particular era. I discovered that's especially important because I've been doing a lot of work with younger artists, and they always cite a Wizard of True Star as being an influence on them. And I think the only reason why it works like that is because it isn't necessarily stylistically or lyrically pegged to a certain era. So, you won't find a lot of young bands covering, Neil Young's Alabama or things like that nowadays because, that was a relevant topic then, but maybe not so much now. And I know it's a bit of a chance of citing somebody like, Miley Cyrus, but it made a nice rhyme, it was funny, and so you can't take yourself too seriously.
Very good. Well, what we're doing here is we're talking about songs on Todd's new album, Global. It's coming out in early April. You can get it all over the place. But we're talking about some of the songs, and I'm bouncing around a little bit. There's a track on there called Soothe, Todd, and it seems to be an acknowledgement or recognition that your music can help people through difficult moments in their life. And is there an artist that has an effect on you?
Oh, a lot of artists had effect on me. It's like Laura Nyro essentially broke up the Nas. She had such an effect on me. Instead of writing guitar-oriented songs, I suddenly only wanted to write songs on the piano. And I had the great good fortune of actually working with her at some point. So, there are always artists that, that will have an influence on you. But the older you get, you sort of realize, you are in the same position as they are, and that sense of awe is not as much there as it is when you're younger and more naive. I realize that, I've been through a lot of the same things that my so-called idols have been through, and we can relate a little bit more horizontally, I guess.
Hey, Todd, there seems to be a general theme. The album is grounded in a theme. It's not necessarily hopeful, or there seems to be. It is in a way. It seems to be a call to action. There's a lot of songs called that tie into the idea of the earth and our responsibility on it. In one of the songs, there's a refrain where you're talking about the writings on the wall, and it seems kind of ominous. It seems to be like we're a long way from the road to utopia.
Well, it could be. It could be that, you could say that things are darkest before the dawn. You always wonder what would bring the human race together, and people. That's why we have so many fantasies about invasions from outer space. And you never know how people are going to respond, but you certainly hope that, our better angels will come forward instead of our devils. Sometimes when resources get slim, it's every man for himself. And the record is essentially trying to compensate for that, trying to point out that there's some things that will never be solved by individuals that can only be solved by us collectively.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we need, Todd. I mean, I wake up every day now, and this has been going on since, for me at least, the world changed on September 11, 2001, and, certainly not in a good way at all. And it just gets compounded and gets worse every day. And I really look to the musicians. I think you guys, if you could get together, have a summit, and come out with a couple singular messages where to get us all on the right track. And this album, Global, seems to be in that vein and in that direction. And there's another track on the album called Rise, where, like you said, it seems to be calling people to become better persons, to overcome the problems. And that's a good message.
Yeah, and there's also, the song called Flesh and Blood, which is about the phenomenon. If you get people in the right place and you put them in the right frame of mind, like, for instance, a big freaking outdoor concert with a DJ, and the lights and everything, you take all those individuals and you turn them into one giant organism. And if you could direct that organism to deal with these issues, then you would be accomplishing something.
Yeah, that's a good message. There's actually a festival that's been going on in New York City for the last couple of years called the Global Citizens Festival, or the Global Citizen Festival, and they're kind of doing something similar to that. Maybe you should hook up with those, Todd. You should be a featured act on that stage, because it goes out around the world. It was broadcast on MSNBC last year. Really amazing stuff. Now, there's another track on the album called Holy Land, and to me that seems like it's a reminder that wherever we stand on the earth is a holy spot and hallowed ground. But it gave me another question. Have you ever performed in the Holy Land?
No, I have not. I have been to the Middle East in my youth. I've been to Iran, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Afghanistan, but before all of the troubles began there. So I have had experience of those cultures, and, under the best of circumstances, and people are really friendly, really helpful, and interested in you as you are in them, and, it gives you hope. Unfortunately, there are always bad actors out there who will prey on people's fears and their greed and stuff like that. And so it's up to us to kind of, keep leaving reminders, that, our better nature is to kind of, cooperate with each other and tolerate each other if we possibly can.
Todd Rundgren is on the phone with us right now, the great Todd Rundgren. The new album is called Global. Hey, Todd, is there a spot on the globe that you haven't yet played but would like to?
Oh, there's lots of spots. I'd love to play in India right now, see what it's like, because the last time I was there was probably 30 years ago, and I hear it's just changed a whole lot. It's become a much more modern place, and especially in a lot of the major cities. And I'd like to check it out again, perhaps.
Yeah, get a small percentage of the downloads from India. You're doing okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, gentlemen, we got to jump.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you one more question, or you got to go? Is that it? This island Earth, you talk that there is no aliens, that we're the only ones to blame for yourself. Are you absolutely sure that there are no aliens?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there are no aliens. Put it this way, 200 years ago there was no such concept as aliens because we didn't have airplanes yet. The only thing that flew was birds.
Hey, Todd, I just got one more. It's a game we have on the show. It's called Love or Loathe. They're two very similar sounding words with completely opposite meanings. What do you love about being Todd Rundgren, and is there anything that you don't necessarily like about being who you are?
Well, I've come to grips with myself, and if you can be happy with yourself, then, that's a goal that, is worth achieving. But I still realize that there's, given an infinite amount of time, I would still be able to, to better myself. So I guess I'm kind of disappointed every time I don't take the opportunity to do so.
All right, Todd, I'll let you go. Have a great, fantastic success with this new album, Global, and we'll see you on the road, and hopefully we can have you back sometime.
Hope so. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Rockin Rich Lynch on the Radio Show, part of the SoundPress.net radio network. Remember, if you're a band or artist looking for promotion, or if you'd like to sponsor this show or add this program to your station, please get in touch with us today at SoundPress.net.